WDAY presents
at the Betty. Today, the best 8 teams from 8 regions across North Dakota have descended upon Grand Forks, where we'll find out this weekend who's the best of the best. Welcome to WDAY's full coverage of the 2022 Class B Girls Basketball Tournament. Good afternoon, everybody. That's the terrific Lynette Johnson. I'm Zach State and Lynette. 5 of the last 6 state champions are here. The last 3 state champions are here. This is a loaded field here in 2022.
It really is, and a lot of teams that have been here before recently, and I'm just really excited. I'm excited to be back at the Betty, and I'm ready.
First time we're back here in Grand Forks for the Class B girls since 2020. Let's take a look now at the 4 games you'll see today. We tip it off with the defending state champs Grafton, and Kenmare will start us off here in just a couple of minutes at 2:45. Mohall, Lansford, Sherwood back at the B for the first time since 2005 against the 2020 champs Langdon area Edmore Munich at 6:30. Kindred, unbeaten, have missed the state tournament for the last 2 straight years. They are back with a vengeance, and here comes Beulah for the first time since 1989. They are back in the Class B. Our final game, the 4 seed Linton HMB against Shiloh Christian in a rematch from earlier this season. That will be a great one to cap off our quarterfinal round. Take you now, though, to our first game and set you up with the University of Jamestown matchup page. Grafton, defending state champs. They lost a couple of players from last year, Lynette. They have not missed a beat this year. Neither is Kenmare, despite losing their point guard earlier in the year.
Yeah, again, 2 teams that have been here before, so there's some nerves, but they know what to expect. Grafton, again, to be state champs last year, to lose what they lost, and to be back in this spot is great. And Kenmare, as you said, losing their floor general, Katie Miller, to an ACL injury, but to get back here to 2 very well-coached teams.
How good are these 2 defenses? 37 points per game for Kenmare, 34 for Grafton.
Exactly. They kind of mirror each other defensively. You look at Grafton averages 65 points a game, so if Grafton can get to that 50-point, 50-55, if Kenmare can hold them under 50, I think they've got a shot, but Grafton does come at you at many different angles.
Here are your Cass Clay players to watch for Kenmare. Brenna Strokeland has really had to take a step up since they lost Katie Zimmer to that injury. She's a terrific post player. Reagan Hansen has taken a giant step forward just in what she's done responsibility-wise. After losing the Sieben twins last year, Hansen has really stepped up in the scoring department.
Yeah, both these young ladies had great tournaments last year, but now as kind of supporting roles. Now they're actually those leaders on the court, and I think they're ready to fulfill that this tournament.
The coaches of these games are both very experienced when you come here. Mike Zimmer in his 4th year got Kenmare back to a state tournament last year for the first time in a decade. Now he's back this year with a Honkers team that they say they're not nervous anymore. They were last year. They don't feel the nerves much anymore now.
Yeah, in that second year, you're here and you know what to expect. You know the warm-up routine and how much time is in between games and those kind of things. And now you see him smiling there, and he's ready to go.
He's with his daughter, Katie, there, of course, tore ACL earlier in the year. They'll at least be together today. Katie's excited to be here no matter what. On the other side, hard to believe it's been 2 decades for Lori Sieben. She's put Grafton in 3 state tournament championship games. Last year won it, the 10-year anniversary of when they first won it in 2012.
Yeah, just a great coach. I had the opportunity to coach against her many years ago, and just a good human being, and really knows what she's doing on the court and has her girls ready to play.
354 wins for Coach Sieben. She does not coach like this is her 21st year on the job. She still coaches with a very excited exuberance like this is just her rookie season. Grafton is your defending state champs. They've proven over the year they can handle the target on their back. Kenmare wants to prove that they're here for more than just the first game, only to get knocked into the consolation round. This is a terrific game to set us up. Before we get going, let's go downstairs to our PA announcer, Dave Tack, for the North Dakota Crop Improvement and Seed Association starting lineups.
Good afternoon and welcome to the NDHSAA-sponsored State B Girls Basketball Tournament. The North Dakota High School Activities Association and its premier partner, Farmers Union Insurance, and supporting sponsor, Vision Zero, remind each of you that this athletic contest is played under the observance of the North Dakota High School Activities Association's behavior expectations by all those in attendance. Good sportsmanship is vital at all levels of athletics. We ask that you exhibit good sportsmanship at all times. The North Dakota High School Activities Association sponsors statewide events in athletics, music, and speech. The NDHSAA believes that all high school activities provide lessons for life, including the lesson of treating everyone with respect and with the pledge of good sportsmanship. We hope you enjoy the event and let your good sportsmanship show. The first game of the 2022 State Class B Girls Basketball Tournament is between the Kenmare Honkers and the Grafton Spoilers. First, let's meet the Kenmare Honkers. First, the non-starters. Number 1, Ava Froseth. Number 3, Lexi Holter. Number 4, Ann Strokeland. Number 13, Alexa Fardy. Number 14, Bria Crest. Number 24, Mackenzie Lutvent. Number 25, Lilybeth Santizo. Number 32, Taya Offord. And number 41, Destiny Anderson. And now let's meet the starters for the Kenmare Honkers. At guard, a 5'6" freshman, number 11, Mache Miller. At guard, a 5'5" senior, number 15, Brooklyn Rodine. At guard, a 5'7" senior, number 20, Amber Hauk. At forward, a 5'9" junior, number 10, Madison Malee. And at center, a 5'11" junior, number 21, Brenna Strokeland. The Honkers are coached by Mike Zimmer. He's assisted by Sabrina Nyhoff, Mary Feldman, and Ryan Offord. And now let's meet the Grafton Spoilers. First, they're not starters. Number 2, Grace Narlock. Number 4, Summer Mober. Number 10, Claire Bjornaby. Number 12, Trinity Parsons. Number 20, Addison Fredrickson. Number 23, Caitlin Ziegelman. And number 42, Kira Cole. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Grafton Spoilers. Starting at guard, a 5'7" senior, number 11, Reagan Henson. At guard, a 5'9" junior, number 13, Ainsley McClay. At forward, a 6' senior, number 14, Jade Moe. At forward, a 6'2" senior, number 22, Cassie Erickson. And at center, a 6'3" junior, number 24, Walker Demers. The Spoilers are coached by Lori Sieben. She's assisted by Wade Hauken and Jamie Stalin. The officials for this afternoon's game are registered by the NDHSAA and have been selected by their demonstrated ability. The officials for today's game are Chris Zenker, Doug Saylor, and Marlon Tibbs. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to please rise. Please remove your cap or hat. And place your right hand over your heart and stand at attention as our national anthem is sung by Grafton High School junior Julia Presting.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
What a lovely job by Grafton High School's Julia Presting. We come back. The B is back at the Betty. Kenmare and Grafton is next. The best is now to be determined here at the Betty. The Class B girls basketball tournament tips off next, and tip-off is brought to you by the Broadband Association of North Dakota. Grafton looking for 2 in a row. Kenmare looking for a state tournament win. The Honkers take the tip-off.
Yeah, and if you notice, Zach, Grafton goes to 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3" across that front court there, on the baseline. So it'll be really interesting to see how Kenmare is able to defend that.
Brenna Strokeland misses on her first attempt. Like Zimmer said, they want to try to attack Walker Demers as much as possible, get her in foul trouble. That's the one place Demers really struggles right now, is her fouling. But again, Don Plitzowite in South Dakota don't come get you before you turn into your senior year unless you have potential. Demers on the block. Side step, a little too strong. Rebound by Jade Moe. Out top, Ainsley McLean for 3. No. Here come the Honkers, Amber Hauk.
And that's one thing Kenmare has to do. They have to box out, put a body on him. When you have that type of height disadvantage, 3-4 inches, you've got to put a body on him. You can't let Grafton have 2 or 3 shots every time down the court.
They like the matchup between Strokeland at 6 foot against Demers, as Demers lets that one trickle off her foot. But outside of that, the height advantage goes right back to Grafton when you look across the starting lineups. 5'7", 5'5", 5'6", 5'9" for the Honkers.
And that's where just those fundamentals come into play.
Strokeland does have the ability to step out and take a mid-range jumper, but her third shot doesn't go. Jump ball heading the way of the Spoilers.
Looks like you called a foul on that one, and you got to be real careful. It's kind of a frustration foul. You miss that little bunny, and then right away foul, 85 feet from the basket. Those are coach killers. And
with Katie Zimmer's injury, they only go about 7 deep for the Honkers, so they're going to have to keep out of foul trouble. That's the one thing Zimmer said, too. If we get Strokeland in foul trouble, it's going to be really hard for us to try to find ways to defend Demers. They dump it down to the Coyote commit. She puts it up off the glass and scores the first 2 points of the day.
Yeah, that's what I'd keep doing until they stop it.
Kenmare tries to speed it up the floor. They tee up a 3 and get it to go. That's Strokeland.
Yeah, she couldn't get it to go down low the last time. I'll step up about 19, 20 feet away and drain it.
Again, she has the ability to stretch the floor. McLean out top, another one of those players from last year's team that has really taken a jump up. So is Cassie Erickson. She has been really good. Driving baseline, kick out to McLean, and a turnover. On the floor, diving out to get it is Hauk, and Kenmare comes away with it. They thought about a 3. Michelle Miller there. One of their players they do trust to take an outside shot. Dump inside, and they turn it right back over.
Well, you can definitely tell that the offense is going through Strokeland. Every time down the court, they're looking for her, whether it's down low, out high. The offense runs through every single time.
Right now, 4 possessions and 4 shots for Strokeland and a turnover. Here's Hansen, trying to fire her way around. She drives inside, and she is fouled before the shot goes up. That foul on Brooklyn Rodine.
And that's what you need to do. Rodine needs to do is stay up on her, kind of get in her face, make it very difficult for her to drive to the basket. But you just got to be careful you don't get in foul trouble, especially when they're not that deep.
Kick it out here to Demers. Erickson dumping down low. Hansen, another turnover. That was a good defensive possession there from Shea Miller.
That was awesome. So many times, girls or any player lets them cut over the top. She did a nice job of bumping her and getting her hand on the basketball.
Well, the ball dives out of bounds. Grafton, last one to touch it. How much of this is a filling out process here? We'll ask you that right after this break. 3-2 our score with 5:19 remaining. Kenmare leading over the defending state champs in Grafton. The North Dakota State B girls basketball game is brought to you by Farmers Union Insurance. Welcome back to WDAY. Kenmare leading over the second seed in this tournament. Grafton 3-2 with 5:19 to go. Alongside Lynette Johnson, I'm Zach State, and we were talking about this before the break. How much of this is a feeling out process? How much of this is nerves right now for both these teams?
Yeah, a little bit of nerves, but again, both teams are playing really good defense, and we saw that on the opening stats of how they holded their opponents in the 30s. So these ladies know how to play defense, and they're showing that in the first few minutes of this tournament.
Strokeland pushes it back out. Miller trying to find an opening. Great defensive play here from Jane Moe. Now she'll take a deep three. That's from the men's line. No good. Rebound, right back to the Honkers. She'll try it again, and a foul on the three. That goes up against Moe.
You can really see Kenmare really trying to work around that three-point line with the height disadvantage that they have. They tried to get into Strokeland, haven't had a whole lot of luck, so they're looking for the three-pointer. Got some long rebounds off of that. Now chance for 3 free throws on that foul.
Those last couple shots were the first not taken by Strokeland here tonight, as the first free throw goes in and out from Shea Miller. Miller at 10 points per game, the only other honker in double figures coming into tonight. Second free throw again misses.
And that's frustrating too, because you get an opportunity to make those 3 free throws just as good as a 3-point basket, and to miss 2 of them in a game that I think every point is going to be very crucial.
And the third one rims out too. Kara Cole checking into the game for the first time. They bring it up the floor with McLean. Turning in, diving inside, almost turned it over. Outside, three-pointer. A little too strong. Rebound goes right back to Moe. And Moe has it stripped. A good defensive play there from Miller again. She's been active. Miller bringing it up the floor. The handoff. Now kick back up. Strokeland. She's had 1-3 go through. She'll lay it up. No good. 3 spoilers right there, but it goes back to Strokeland. Underneath. Up. No good. That was from Alexa Vardy. She checks in. Again, just a couple of reserves here that will come into the game for the Honkers most of the time. How have they made things so tough? As a foul called there on Kenmare. How have they made things so tough on Grafton offensively?
Well, they're just playing, great defense. They're taking away the cuts to the basket. Both teams, like you said, they hold their opponents in the 30s. Might be the first team that, if anybody can get to 40, they're going to be the winner of this game. And it's not because of bad offense. It's really because of great defense and just good fundamentals.
Mike Zimmer said they are not afraid to pressure this team. They know the challenge of trying to beat Grafton, but they're not afraid. They're going to have to cause some mispossessions, turnovers. They're going to have to cause some bad possessions. Cole with the rebound on Hansen, and she traveled.
And Kenmare just did a nice job of keeping their hands up. Some people might yell, hey, that's a foul, but their hands were up. They were playing good position, and Grafton just moved their feet a little bit.
Remember, Grafton got off to a slow start in the Region 2 title game against Thompson as well. Down by 4 early in that one before getting off on a really good spot. As another 3 goes down, it's Alexa Vardy. The only points of the game for the Honkers so far coming from the bonus sphere.
And that might be the only place they're able to get is outside shots, just because of that 6'6", 6'2", 6'3" down low.
Now the one thing that Grafton is doing well. They're trying to drive and get them in foul trouble. And that's on Mache Miller, and that's her second. They'll have to go to the bench.
Yeah, and you hate to see that with 3.5 minutes left in this first quarter to have a couple fouls and have to sit down for a little while.
And we've seen how good she's been defensively, so that one will be an adjustment for Mike Zimmer and company. Claire Bjornaby out top, checks into the game for her first couple of minutes. Hansen has not been able to find an open look. Cassie Erickson throws it off the side of the backboard, gets it herself. Trying to drive back in, instead just kicks it back over to Mo. Bjornaby gets the screen from Erickson, looking for something. Hansen trying for the post move. Nice move, and the foul.
That was pretty. A little up and under, and that's that senior leadership there. Going strong and getting the foul.
That's the second on Brooklyn Rodine, so already foul trouble here for the Honkers. 2 starters playing with 2 fouls. Hansen a chance at the old school three-point play and delivers. Her first 3 points of the game, make it a 6-5. 1-point deficit here for the Spoilers. And they go into a little bit of a full court press, little zone press here.
A little 1-2-2 press, and when you have those long bodies and those long arms, pressing is actually a great way to go because it makes it very difficult to see around them.
Again, the length of Grafton just becomes so hard for these Kenmare players.
Yeah, you got Jade Moe out there, 6 foot, with those long arms. It makes it very difficult to see over.
Already guarded by Kiera Cole, nearly traveled with it. She turned it over. Erickson comes away with it. Erickson brings it up the floor. They never reset the shot clock. I'll tell you what, Kiera Cole looked like she had a free trip to the bucket before they blew the whistle. Let's take a timeout. 2.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Kenmare leading 6-5 over Grafton. Coming up, it's the Lake Region State College halftime report in between this one, which is shaping up to be a defensive affair so far between the Spoilers and Kenmare. 6-5 our score. Honkers leading again. It's our Lake Region State College halftime report. Alongside Lynette Johnson, I'm Zach Staten as Grafton will inbound it. Off the shot clock mishap. Down into Demers. They'll take the three with Bjornaby off the front iron. She gets her own miss. Down to Demers, and she has it swatted away by Strokeland.
And I don't know, Demers has that happen to her very often, but Strokeland going head-to-head with her, toe-to-toe, and rejecting the ball out of bounds.
We usually say it doesn't happen that 6 foot meets 6 foot in Class B, but tonight we'll see a couple of those big-time matchups between post player with size versus post player with size. Erickson, she'll try the mid-range jumper, a little strong. Strokeland hands it up. Here's Madison Maline. Maline with Rodine. Maline trying to direct traffic. Strokeland very nearly traveled with it. Drives into a double team. Missed it. Offensive rebound. Taken away. Good job there by Kiera Cole. Hansen trying now to direct traffic of her own. Gets the screen. She likes to go to that left hand. Seen that early here. Kick out. Demers. That's a deep 2. No. I think that's a win if you're Mike Zimmer.
Yep.
You want Demers as far away from the basket as possible, don't you?
100%. He'll give her those shots all day. And you got to be happy if you're Kenmare. You've held so far Grafton to 5 points with a minute and a half left in this first quarter. Mike Zimmer's got to be happy with his defense.
80 seconds left here in the first quarter. Nearly a turnover again. Instead, the Honkers get it right back. Poked out. It'll stay with Kenmare. 5 seconds on the shot clock.
And they let them play down low a little bit. They're very physical, very aggressive, and both ends they're kind of leaving it that way, so they'll have to adjust accordingly.
And a timeout here from Mike Zimmer. That's a dangerous spot to inbound the ball, just right underneath the bucket. 6-5 our score, and if you're just tuning in, this has been a defensive first period to say the least. 2 of 11 shooting for Grafton, 2 of 9 for Kenmare.
Yeah, and again, typically it's for the first game of the tournament. Sometimes you can come out real hot, but oftentimes it's just getting used to the arena and being in here, and And these teams, I think, again, the defense piece is what we have to really focus on, is that both these teams play such great defense, and that impacts the offensive side of it.
Grafton's done a really good job getting on the boards, too. They've got 5 offensive rebounds, but they've been negated by all these turnovers. They had 4. They forced 4 on Kenmare, but it doesn't help when you're giving away possessions.
Exactly. Every possession in a game like this is so important. Now that's why we called timeout. There's 5 seconds. They want to make sure that they can get a shot off in that time.
Strokeland versus Demers just got it off and missed it off the side. 1 minute left to go here in the first quarter of our first quarterfinal game here on WDAY. Glad you're joining us here on a day that should be filled with a ton of great action. Ainsley McLean looking for an opening, can't get it, swings it back over, now down low to Demers. This is her sweet spot, couldn't get it to go. She missed the offensive rebound through her legs. Here comes Kenmare.
A really nice job, again, defensively by Strokeland, just staying behind her, getting her hands up, moving her feet a little bit, and not trying to block that particular shot.
Strokeland, tough shot.
That's a heck of a move by that young lady. A nice little left-handed layup there, again, against someone that's got a 3-inch advantage over her.
Her 5 points matches all of Grafton right now. Shot clock is dead. Demers, she'll try a 3. Back iron. They've given Kenmare a chance to get the last shot of the quarter. Here comes Rodine, dumping it down, blocked away by Demers. She takes it, launches up the half-court heave, and that will fall on the Summit League logo. And that is how the first quarter comes to an end. But what a start here for the Kenmare Hawkers. They hold Grafton to just 2 made shots and lead it 8-5 after 1 quarter play here on WDAY. Just a couple seconds away from our second quarter starting. Kenmare leading the defending champions Grafton 8-5. Let's get a word in from our friends at Bank of North Dakota.
My plan was to get a degree in engineering. And with the help of a student loan from Bank of North Dakota, I did. If you want to build something solid, you need a plan.
Bank of North Dakota, helping you achieve more.
2 of 13 shooting. That is what the spoilers turned in there in the first quarter. A terrific defensive half from Mike Zimmer's defense. Lynette Johnson, I'm Zach Staten. You think when you hold somebody else to 3 of 11 shooting, your defense is doing the job. But what is Kenmare doing so well to get Grafton uncomfortable?
Well, I think, the fact that they're pushing Walker Demers out to the 3-point line is a big piece of that. She has gone down low, but Strokeland's just really played behind her, got her hands up, and tried to make her shoot, Demers shoot around her. But the rest of the young ladies out there have just really played good, fundamental man-to-man defense.
And Kenmare's jumped out to the 8-5 lead via a couple of threes as well. The reverse layup from McLean won't go. It's not like they've had one-and-dones here. They've had a couple of offensive rebounds as well to try to get back into it. But Kenmare's done a great job at limiting chances here and limiting made shots. This is Michelle Miller out top. Remember, Miller and Brooklyn Rodine are playing with those 2 fouls from that first quarter. Miller looked to shoot it. Strokeland lost it. Might have actually lost Demers because of that. Turns it around and puts it home.
And at this point, Strokeland's the post player to watch right now. Just really both ends of the court, defensively and offensively, taking it to Demers.
There again, Demers out top. A 3 from Hansen. Oh, net. They're going to need her to get going to take some pressure off Demers.
Yeah, stop the bleeding there a little bit. And they obviously like to score, so they can put that press in and maybe take 10-15 seconds off the shot clock before Kenmare can get into their offense.
Now, both of these teams are just fine playing defensive battles. You got to remember, in the region championship game, Kenmare won over Newtown 45-40. So they're fine playing just into the 40s themselves. That missed shot going out of bounds, and that is tipped back to the way of the spoilers.
Yeah, and Grafton's used to scoring at 65 points a game. And to be held to 8 points here in the start of the second quarter is just not what they're used to.
11-0 in Region 2 this year. Grafton's lone losses were to Kindred. They lost to Langdon area, Edmore, Munich right towards the end of the year. They have not lost, though, when it comes to Region 2 and playing in this building. Demers misses again, gets it right back, nearly traveled with it. Instead, they turn it over. Also lost at the beginning of the year to a terrific Fort Wayne Minnewacan team It just got eliminated by Langdon. A terrific Region 4 game. Another three goes down. And again, it's Michelle Miller, the third player from the Honkers to make a triple. And right as Grafton had stopped the bleeding, it's back to a 5-point game.
You know, Grafton's a defending state champs, but Kenmare looks the more confident team out here to start this first game of our tournament. And the longer they can kind of hold them off, the more confidence you gain as this game goes along.
Hansen trying to find the opening scoop shot. No, never touched the shot clock. Didn't matter. 3-on-2 break. Rodine inside, swatted away by Erickson.
And Erickson trying to rally her team a little bit with that block.
13-8, Kenmare, the unseeded Honkers, leading the number 2 seed Grafton with 5.5 to play here in the second quarter. The Grafton students always bring a great turnout, especially when they're at the Betty. Their student section, terrific, and the Kenmare fans as well. That's our fan cam brought to you by Farmers Union Insurance. 13-8. Kenmare has jumped out to a ton of momentum here in our first quarterfinal game on WDAY. Dump it down to Brenna Strokeland. She's got 7 quick points, just one shy of Grafton's total. Step back jumper from Miller, missed everything.
Yeah, when she's jumped back, her momentum kind of took her back and did not give her enough power to get it all the way to the hoop.
If you're Lori Sieben, what are you telling your team during these timeouts here? It looks like they might be just a touch rushed here.
You know, I think so, but again, she's been here before. I was wondering why she didn't call a timeout. Then I realized it was close to our media break, so just being here enough knows that. But I think get the ball down low. Really try to get. I didn't even look at getting Strokeland in foul trouble a little bit. She's got 1 foul. Keep going at her. Keep going at her. She's the one that's hurting them on the other end of the court.
That ball goes out of bounds. Off of the Honkers, Ainsley McLean will be the inbounder. The champions from Region 8, Kenmare. Hansen's already made 1 triple. A little too strong, but she gets her own miss off the tip. Nearly traveled. Post move, no. Leaves it short.
They just can't get in any kind of rhythm. And again, credit the Honkers for that defense.
But a turnover here immediately as Cole steals it. And a foul.
I think that's on Strokeland. Is that her number 2?
That is. That's her second foul, and you just talked about it. Keep going at her, but if you're Mike Zimmer, that's not what you can afford as an offensive foul.
Right, and her 2 fouls have been 185 feet from the basket, and that one right there.
That was a frustration foul, that first one.
And not on the defensive end, so those are the kind of things that just kill you.
Well, Demers is still on Strokeland.
And if I'm Demers, I'm taking her down low and try to get number 3.
McLean inside. They wave the shot off. The foul at the top of the key. And who's this on? That's on Brenna Strokeland, too. That's her 3rd.
And she's begging the coach not to take her out, but I don't know how you leave her in. If she gets 4 right now, that would be,
I mean, boy, oh boy,
catastrophic.
That would be tough. It's a 1-and-1 situation already here for Grafton with 17 fouls on Kenmare. And Grafton right now, to its credit, has only committed a single infraction. Second one goes. And into the game comes Lilibeth Santizo, and she will take out Strokeland. Strokeland not thrilled about it, but they're going to have to save her. They're going to need her especially, and you can see she's frustrated on the bench, but I don't know that Mike Zimmer's got much of a choice.
No, 2, I think you can kind of keep them in, but when you get that 3rd one, you just can't risk having someone of her caliber have 4 fouls going into the second half.
Wonder how much that changes the defense, too, on Demers. She's been really good at forcing everything to be tough. Santizo out top, into the game for her first minutes.
I think Kenmare here is just going to take their time on offense, use the whole 35-second shot clock, and limit the opportunities for Grafton in the second half, or the end of the second quarter.
A nice cut and one. That's Michelle Miller picking up her 5th points. Jade Moe picks up the foul.
That was Claire Bjarnaby with a nice little lay-in and a chance for 3.
with a missed free throw. They've missed a bunch of free throws here in the first quarter. Could be an 8-point lead here if they could just make a couple of them. Hansen down low. Here's Demers backing in and missed it long. That one's going back with the spoilers on the offensive rebound.
That's just got to be frustrating for Demers because those are shots that she, typically makes. And, again, as an upperclassman now, we've kind of watched her grow up in this state tournament from 9th grade to last year on the state championship team, and now being a junior and kind of that leader. Just kind of have to forget the last play and keep going. Those shots are going to fall eventually.
Demers trying again, short. Cole, boy, she's been active off the bench. McLean tees up the triple. Got it!
And again, you have to give Grafton one shot, one opportunity. When you get more than that, they're going to kill you with shots like that three-pointer.
Well, as out of a half as this has been for Grafton, this is a 2-point game with 3 minutes to go. And as good of a half as this has been for Kenmare, this is a 2-point game with 3 minutes to go here in the half.
Well, and Strokeland being out is key here. Just got to take your time.
Oh, what a move underneath.
Oh,
Miller!
Nice job going in amongst the trees and getting that reverse basket.
Down low, Demers. Oh, what a tough move. Just simple.
Yeah, she makes it look very easy on that one.
(17-15) our score. Next stoppage of play. I'll take a timeout. Miller. Sweet dump off to Taya off fourth. That's out of bounds. A good defensive play there for Grafton. 2:14 to go. 17-15. Kenmare still pacing this game over the defending state champs Grafton. Still to come in this one, it's our Touchstone Energy Cooperatives of North Dakota Player of the Game. We got a ways to go, and we got tons of stuff still to determine who our Player of the Game again. Sponsored by Touchstone Energy Cooperatives of North Dakota. 17-15. Kenmare, the unseeded Honkers, leading this one. Kick out. 3 seconds to shoot. A three. Got it again! Moline. Right now, Kenmare is living off of that triple. 4 out of 5. And the lead balloons back up to 5 as Hansen couldn't get it to go. Out of bounds, and it will stay with the spoilers.
Yeah, Moline has really come on with Strokeland on the bench, taking on that offensive burden, and that scored some huge points here in the second quarter.
That's the one other player that in the starting lineup has a little bit of size to her. She's 5'9", and when you can stretch the floor like that, it gives you opportunities to at least do something different. Oh, what a sweet play inside, and that's Cole. Kira Cole has provided a ton of energy off that bench. That's something Lori Sieben said she does so often. She's such an energizer bunny that they can't help but make her the sixth man coming out.
That's a good problem to have someone like her as the sixth person off the bench.
Those are first 2 points of the contest. 10 to shoot. And a turnover. Who else but Cole? Kick out. Erickson in transition, had it poked away, but she was fouled before. She's going to the line for a 1-and-1.
She's doing her point guard tryout there. A couple times we've seen her take the ball up the court, showing Coach Stevens, hey, I can do this.
Alexa Vardy picks up her first. It's now 8 on the Honkers. And if you're going to foul before she shoots because it makes it a 1-and-1. First one goes down. Not even a problem there for Erickson, who touches a scoreboard for the first time tonight.
We're starting to see both teams kind of heat up a little bit and relax and kind of get into the flow of their basketball game.
She misses second. Demers, offensive rebound, put back up, and we're tied.
And my dad used to say that's a cardinal sin to not box out on the rebound when you already have position.
Kenmare's going to take yet another time out here. Mike Zimmer going to burn it and go down Took a couple timeouts. No, I believe actually that was Grafton that took the timeout. Either way, for Walker Demers, everything's been so tough and contested at the basket. Just getting one there and getting just one to freely lay it off the window has got to be easy.
Yeah, probably didn't believe that she had it right there in her hands. And Coach Stephen using that timeout to burn here, and maybe setting up something different defensively, maybe a full court press. Or hey, we got 1 minute and 5 seconds left. It's 2020. Let's go into halftime with the lead.
If you're Kenmare, Grafton's taken 6 more shots than you. You've turned the ball over 7 times. You're only shooting 42%, which I say only is a pretty decent one in this game. And you're tied with 65 seconds to go in the half. If you're Lori Sieben, you've been turned over 5 times. Kenmare has made 4 of its 5 threes, and you're tied with 65 seconds to go. There's a lot of positives, I think, to take out for both these teams here.
Yeah, definitely. And, right now we saw a switch up. It's a 2-2-1 press instead of a 1-2-2, just causing them to take 10 seconds off the clock before they get across half court. They're probably hoping for a steal there, but just want to throw something different at them.
Miller tries the 3, almost made it 5 for 6. And that's a foul, and that's, again, 85 feet from the bucket. Didn't need to commit it.
And then, not only is it stopping the clock, but you're going all the way down the court, and they're getting free throws off of it. Just a frustration, a silly foul.
First foul on Madison Moline, and right now the only starter for the Honkers that has not picked up a foul is Amber Hawk. Last of the 1-and-1s here, and Demers misses it front iron. Erickson chasing it down in the corner.
Both of those things are just, coach, they just give you the gray hairs. You foul too far from the basket, and then you give up a rebound off a free throw again where you have that position.
Erickson alone, dump it down. Cole, no. Demers, got it! And Grafton leads.
And without Strokeland down there for that rebounding and playing that good defensive position on her, it's just been a field day for Demers since she's been out.
Final shot of the half will come from Kenmare. Miller, deep 3, missed it all.
And she got tricked there by the Grafton fans. They were counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with about 10 seconds left. So didn't really understand that there was more time on the clock than she had.
McLean, half-court heave, no. And after 1 half of play, Grafton has battled back to take a 22-20 lead despite shooting just 29% from the floor. And a terrific effort there from Kenmare, who made 4 of 7 triples in that opening half.
Yeah, I think it was 13-8, I believe, when Strokeland went out, and things just kind of turned around for Grafton, and they were able to really get the ball down low, and there was just nobody to stop them.
Kenmare head coach Mike Zimmer now joining us down on the sideline. Coach, it felt like the defense was doing a really good job. Did Brenna Strokeland going out with those 3 fouls hurt at all?
Yeah, that's obviously a yes. Yeah, we had trouble getting rebounds after that, and she gets us into the offense too. So that was a huge foul on her. But we hung in there. We're doing exactly what we wanted to do. Our game plan, they're executing it greatly right now.
How much has the 3-pointer been an equalizer for you guys in this one?
that was where we wanted to stop them from shooting threes, and we needed to make some, and it's gone that way so far.
You've made this a 2-point game going into the break. What do you tell your team in the locker room?
Yeah, same thing. I think we're ahead if Brenna doesn't get that foul, so we're going to be very positive in the locker room for sure.
Coach Zimmer, we appreciate your time. We'll see you here in the second half. That's Mike Zimmer, head coach here of Kenmare's Honkers, down 22-20 to the defending state champs Grafton. We come back, Lake Region State College halftime report.
This is the Lake Region State College halftime report.
Welcome back, everybody, to our continuing coverage of the Class B girls basketball tournament here on WDAY. After 1 half of play, it's 22-20. The second-seeded Grafton Spoilers just hanging on here over Kenmare. A look at what's to come. Our next game, Langdon area Edmore Munich, 4th straight state tournament for the Cardinals against Moa Lansford Sherwood. First time the Mavericks have been back in the B since 2005. Our nightcap starts off with the unbeaten top seed, Kindred, back here for the first time since they won the state tournament in 2019. They take on a Buhler Miners team that hasn't been to the B since 1989. Last state tournament was 2001 on the Class A side of things. Then our nightcap, the 4th-seeded Linton Dayton HMB. Lions against Shiloh Christian. The Skyhawks back for the third time in 4 years. Let's take one more break. We come back, get you a look at the highlights, the North Dakota Certified Seed Producer stats, and get you caught up with Lori Steven. 22-20. Spoilers leading after one half of play. Just a couple minutes removed here from our third quarter, about to get underway. Grafton leading Kenmare 22-20 alongside Lynette Johnson. I'm Zach State. Let's look at the first half highlights. Kenmare really got themselves in the game with that three-point shot, 4 of 7 in the first half, Lynette.
Yeah, they hit it from the outside again. Because of that height disadvantage, they wanted to take advantage from that three-point line. But then defensively, they also played so well and really held them in check until Strokeland got in that foul trouble.
Now, Strokeland has 7 points right now, 5 apiece for Michelle Miller and Madison Moline. But Grafton got them back got back later in the game because of foul trouble there for the Honkers. Let's look now at the North Dakota Certified Seed Producer stats. 4-7 from the three-point line, but 4-6 for Grafton from the free throw line has got to be, I think, critical here.
Well, yeah, and also you look at the rebounds. It's 10-19, and 11 of those 19 for Grafton are offensive rebounds.
Grafton head coach Lori Steven is standing down now on the sidelines, getting set up to chat with us here. Lori, it took a while to get going on the offensive side. What was Kenmare doing that gave you guys a lot of trouble offensively?
Well, they're just real aggressive, and we expected that. We had some good looks offensively. They're pursuing the boards real hard, and I think we are right with them. We're going to have to continue to do that the second half, really protect the paint and get out on their shooters. You got to guard them all. But I think, sometimes we get a little uncomfortable when we can't score. We had some good looks, and credit to Kenmare's defense. But we're going to just have to stay within ourselves and continue to trust ourselves offensively. And really, it really starts with defense here the first 3 minutes.
Coach, appreciate your time. Good coach your team. We'll see you here in the second half.
Thanks, Al.
That's Lori Steven, head coach at Grafton, about 90 seconds away here from the beginning of the third quarter. You have to think, too, if you're Lori Steven, you like the way they finished that second half, or that second quarter. They didn't panic. Looked like they could have gotten it, but never did.
Yeah, and I like what you said. You get uncomfortable a little bit when you can't score. They're used to scoring 65 points a game. They're on the pace for 44 points a game, and that's exactly what Kenmare wanted. They scored when Strokeland was out. Strokeland's back in the game. She got those 3 fouls, and that's got to have been a conversation at halftime of, hey, she's got 3 fouls. Let's see if we can get that 4th one on her right away.
That was what I was about to ask you. If you're Mike Zimmer, what do you tell Brenna Strokeland? You've got to be able to stay in the game, and with 3 fouls, you pick up a 4th. He's got a hard decision to make.
Well, like I said, 2 of those 3 fouls were, far, far from the basket, 85 feet away and 65 feet away. He's got to get rid of that. Don't do that. But just, again, hands up, move your feet on defense, and, don't try to reach, and just, play solid defense.
Grafton found their way back into the game after trailing by as many as 5 in that opening half. Kenmare put themselves in prime position here. Can they pull off the upset? The final 16 minutes of this one underway here as we start the third quarter. All 5 starters back into the game. Immediately a turnover. Jade Moe comes in.
A different defense there. It was like a 1-3-1.
Hansen comes in with the first points of the second half. And she's been critical too. 8 points helping Walker Demers, trying to ease the load on the center.
And again, you've got a 6-foot guard, I guess you want to say, at the top of that. That makes it very difficult to pass the ball back and forth against that 1-3-1 zone that they've got out there.
Brenna Strokeland down on the baseline, very nearly walked out of bounds instead. Spinning, but a turnover, she walked.
You have just one extra step down there, and I don't know if the Honkers were ready for that zone that they got thrown at them.
And interesting, too, because Kenmare was shooting the ball so well, going to a zone, you would think fights that of what you're trying to do and getting them off the three-point line. But maybe it gets them into a couple bad positions, a couple bad decisions.
When you have that 1-3-1, that kind of protects that three-point line. So that's the one zone that you can do.
Erickson, and 1.
I think Erickson's the one that's got him fired up. She got him fired up earlier in the first half. It's kind of like, let's go, and has really been a forced drive into the basket.
This is the free throw. And it feels like this is one of those games where that is going to become critical here. If it tightens up, those free throws, missed free throws, could be ones you kick yourself over.
Yeah, these next couple possessions for Kenmare are so important.
Strokeland. Skip pass. Out top. Miller's going to have to fire this one away. Or at least she thought she did, and it worked anyway.
That's good clean living making that shot. They can touch every part of the rim.
Tell you what, Michelle Miller has been terrific. That's her 7th point of the night. Inside looking for Demers. Did they turn it over? Yes, they did.
And Strokeland did a nice job there. You got to be careful when you reach around that you maintain some distance around Demers. But you don't want to get she doesn't want to get her 4th foul in that way. But good solid defense and created a turnover.
Strokeland inside, turned it right back over. Good defensive play there from the Spoilers. Wrap it around. Here comes McLean. Inside, blocked again.
That's the second time we've seen Strokeland just kind of swat that ball out of bounds with authority. And she did have enough distance there, but again, you want to be careful that you're not swatting too hard that you're getting a foul.
She's got to find that sweet spot of playing free, but a little bit careful. Down low, and she just picked up the 4th foul.
And that's where you almost have to let her catch it and then play defense rather than try to reach around. Demers does a nice job of creating a wide base, and Strokeland was not able to get around and got that 4th foul and has to sit down with 5:54 left in the 3rd quarter.
And now Mike Zimmer, we heard him. When she went out, that's when everything changed there in the 2nd quarter. Now it's going to be a decision of when do you bring her back into the game, and what do you tell her to do? Do you play her in spurts? Either way, Demers now trying for an open look, and a nice backdoor cut by Erickson, and she continues to fire him up.
That was a nice pass by Demers. Those two have played together a long time and worked together, and you can just see the momentum and the fire changing more towards that Grafton sideline right now.
Miller for the response. Short iron. The rebound taken away by McLean. Went right to Alexa Vardy, and McLean just wrestled it away. Kick up and out of bounds. Trying for the hit-ahead pass to Mo, and she was on the baseline. 5:16 to go in the 3rd quarter. Spoilers coming out on a 6-2 run. They lead at 28-22. It's got to be the start to the half the Grafton fans wanted to see. Their Spoilers out to a 28-22 lead. Can the Honkers give something back? Good to see the kids out of school. That's our Farmers Union Insurance fan cam. I'm not sure you agree with me that it's good to see the kids out of school. It is for the B.
It is.
I think that's a good enough excuse.
It is, and I brought my daughter with me this weekend because I wanted her to experience it, and it's something that I hope every kid gets a chance to go to the B one time, because it is a lot of fun and just a fantastic experience. You're contributing to it. That's good to see. Michelle Miller misses the 3. Here comes Mo looking for the hit-ahead pass to Demers. Wasn't there. That was a good job there by Miller getting back on defense, cutting it off. McLean, spin move. Yeah, they're just taking it to him right now, and Kenmare really doesn't have an answer defensively. And they really, at this point, they haven't been able to find much free in this 3rd quarter offensively because of the foul trouble of Strokeland. Miller trapped, and Mike Zimmer has to call that timeout with 4.5 to go. And you know what? We often talk about a play of the game, and I don't know that the play of the game is in the fact that Coach Siebens put on a 1-3-1 half-court trapping defense, and Kenmare does not have an answer for it. They've got 2 points this half so far, and just really haven't gotten shots off. Yeah, and, right. They look like the team now that's uncomfortable trying to find something offensively. Very much so, and you're almost trying to dribble too much against a 1-3-1. You want to pass across, down, and then across again. And I wish I had one of those telestrators. I could write it up like John Madden used to, but just really work on passing that ball around that zone, and just. It looks like they're just trying to dribble into the trap a little bit too much. 30-22. 8-2 run here to start the 3rd quarter. 4.5 still to go. Kenmare still got time to find their way back into this one. This is the largest lead of the game, though, for either team. Grafton back into man-to-man zone now. Or man-to-man defense, sorry.
Inside, Moline, how did she get that one to go?
She's kind of been the offensive spark here in the last few minutes of play.
Down low, that is exactly where Walker Demers wants to be.
Yeah, when Strokeland on the bench, there's just not anybody that's going to be able to stop her one-on-one with her back to the basket.
The first player today to hit double digits for either team. And a swatting goes right back to the Spoilers.
And you just see the confidence of the Spoilers growing with every possession.
Hansen had the open three for just a moment. Good job to take that one away. Demers back to Hansen. McLean in the corner, down to Demers. She's had a couple of good looks. Making another one.
That's just so strong, and there's no way to defend that. You want to try to get in your way and maybe block or get your hands up for the shot, and then she just does the step through and makes it look really easy.
Demers this season averaging 16 points. She's up to 12 right now. Very nearly a double dribble there on Rodin.
And Kenmare's just confused Grafton back into that 1-3-1 zone. I love that. I love switching it up, and you have to have smart players to be able to do that. And Grafton just seamlessly switches from zone to man defense and back to zone again. Rodin
dribbled it off of McLean's foot. And with 2:55 to go, 3 seconds on the shot clock, Grafton has jumped the lead up to 10 points. The defending state champs finding their groove here in the third quarter. We've got 2:55 left here in the third quarter. Grafton leading 34-24 over Kenmare. Honkers have 3 seconds to shoot out of this timeout. Trying to find an opening for Mache Millard. Now down low, underneath, blocked away. Payoff fourth. Just swarmed there by Walker Demers, who has really made her presence felt here in this third quarter, both offensively and defensively. Yeah, the last 4.5 minutes of this game, she's really shown why she's a Division I commit to the University of South Dakota. And if she needed any more evidence, there's another one. Up to 14 points. And that's a true post player. In today's day and age, you don't often see a girl with back to the basket and making those kind of moves. And she just does a fantastic job in using her height to her advantage, but also with great footwork. This was a 2-point game in the break. It is a 12-point game now for Grafton. They've come out on a 14-4 run right out of the locker rooms. Miller floater, no. Grafton will slow it down. Kick it over. Hansen, the Region 2 Senior Athlete of the Year. Out top. Claire Biernaby swinging around. Hansen in the corner. Looking for Demers. They want to give it to her. She wants that ball. Have to wait on it. Gets it again. They double the post, tripled the post, and they turned it over. And she saw it in the corner of the eye. She saw the weak side block and was trying to get the pass over there, but Kenmare did a nice job of that guard dropping down and getting her hand on it and getting the steal. Kenmare coach Mike Zimmer would like a little quicker tempo getting into the offense, and they turned it right back over. And that's not who they are. You know, they average in the 40s offensively. You know, they're not a team that's going to come and, you know, score 10, 12 points in a run. They're methodical about it, and you know, to try to come back like this is going to be difficult because that's just not how they're built. He seems to understand the urgency here, and I think his players need to probably understand the urgency as well of once Grafton gets on you, they do not make a ton of mistakes to put themselves back into the game. Right, and you just got to... Oh, what a sweet backdoor cut. Cassie Erickson's up to 8 points. And that's what makes Grafton a great team, is they're just unselfish, and they look for the open girl. They don't care who gets the points or the credit. They just really work as a team. And the time can't go fast enough for Kenmare to get Strokeland back in the game. I'm sure she's going to start this fourth quarter. That'll be the question and the big decision here for Coach Zimmer. And I think you have to at that point. Moline 3 hit the side of the board right next to the basket. They call a foul there on Kenmare. I believe they did.
Yep, and Strokeland's over there on the bench, the biggest cheerleader out there for the Honkers, and just, I'm sure, feels very helpless to the fact that she's got 4 fouls and sitting there and can't do anything right now.
When Strokeland's been on the floor, she's been effective both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, they're just a different team with her out there. And, it's unfortunate that she's gotten this foul trouble for the Honkers.
Mache Miller's just picked up her 3rd foul as well. Ainsley McLean, 7-second differential between the shot and game clocks. Another cut. Bjernaby had a second to move it. Instead, McLean's mid-range jumper won't go. Offensive rebound by Bjernaby. Pass back into the paint. Onto the floor. Diving out. And the jump ball will stay with the Spoilers with a little less than 14 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter.
And you just get the feeling from watching that, Grafton now has all the confidence in the world. They're getting the loose balls. They're making the crisp passes and diving on the floor and getting just about everything's going their way right now.
And Strokeland checking into the game for defense here. They take Mache Miller out, which is a good decision there from Mike Zimmer. Turnover. That was a great defensive play from Madison Moline. And another jump ball that will go the way of the Honkers. Mike Zimmer wanting a foul.
Yeah, that's a tough one. They could have gone either way, maybe a foul, but everybody's on the ground. You can't fault people for hustling there, and that'd been a tough foul to call. The
foul differential, though, is going to be interesting. There's just been 1 foul called, make it 2 now on Grafton compared to the multitude, the 13 fouls on Kenmare so far in this game.
Yeah, and part of that is that zone that they started with the second half. You just don't foul as much in the zone, but Grafton's very well coached and very smart.
Final seconds, they won't get the shot off at all. And what a quarter of play that was for Grafton. 16-4, and the Spoilers open up a 14-point lead with 1 quarter to go between the Spoilers making another semifinal appearance. Coming up, the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives of North Dakota Player of the Game. We've got 8 minutes to decide that one here between Grafton and Kenmare. The unseeded Honkers put up a heck of a fight. There's our game reset presented by University of Jamestown. So far here in the half, 3 fouls for Kenmare compared to 1 for Grafton, but one of them maybe changed the game here, and that was on Brenna Strokeland picking up her 4th foul.
Yeah, and you go back even to the end of the first half when she got her 3rd foul and had to sit out the last 3.5 minutes of that half, and that the game really completely changed when she's out. She's back in there now, and you want to play smart, but she can't play tentative down there. She's got to try to play her game and just not get a silly foul.
And she is guarding Demers, and they are going right to her. Demers turns it around. She's in a zone now.
Yeah, and she knows it. She knows that she's not going to get a ton of pressure back there from Strokeland because she can't afford to do that. So she's just going strong to the hoop and just has a ton of confidence right now.
Strokeland tried to stay up on her, but couldn't do exactly what she was able to do in the first couple of minutes of this basketball game. Strokeland inside, and Demers picks up the foul. She's going to the line for a pair.
And she's doing whatever she can to try to get her team back in this game, going strong. Head-to-head gives away about 3 inches to Demers, and able to draw that foul with a nice head fake, shot fake.
Just the 3rd team foul here in the game for Grafton. That one bounces off every inch of the iron and falls out. Seems to be the luck of the draw here from the free throw line for these Honkers.
I believe yet to make a free throw. Our stats are right here.
They've had the opportunity, and that's the first one of the game. And now Kenmare will put on a little full court pressure, trying to heat Reagan Hansen up. Erickson with the screen to at least get Hansen a little room. Hansen finally gets it away to Mo. Out top, Erickson has really provided a spark in this offensive lineup. Demers is going to the line.
It seems that their only defense right now is to foul her, because if they don't foul her, she's getting a clean look at the basket, and maybe just hope that she doesn't make all of her free throws.
Yep. 16 points per game. She's at 17 tonight.
A little slow start for her at the beginning of this game, but
Wonder how much that fired her up more rather than just got her down.
Well, an athlete of her caliber, you know, a couple missed shots isn't going to deter her too much from shooting anymore. And she just, again, showing what kind of poise she has as an athlete and a basketball player. And Coach Steven can really rely on her to be a consistent scorer. And
you'll see the story in between games. But you got to remember, last year, Walker Demers went to the bench with her 5th foul. As there's a nice little floater there for Kenmare. Madison Moline comes up with her 9th point. She's leading the team in scoring. Walker Demers went to the bench in the state title game in tears because she fouled out. She had made a deal with her parents that if they won the state title and she didn't foul out, she'd get a dog. You'll hear from Taylor Budge in between games exactly how that turned out.
Oh, I understand why you'd cry over that.
Hansen inside, turned it over.
And we're seeing the Honkers defense step up a little bit more. I don't know if Strokeland just being on the court has helped them, but it just might be a little too late.
Is there something to be said about once you get her back on the floor, the rest of the team, the confidence maybe picks up a little bit more?
Oh, 100%. I mean, again, she's been one of their top players all year.
Hansen, a steal, in transition, lays it in. Into double figures goes the senior.
And again, we talked about Demers a lot, but Hansen's just kind of that steadying force.
And I believe that's Hansen that just picked up the foul. Got a little too fired up.
That is her first personal third team foul.
Reagan Hansen picks it up. That's just her first. Inside, Strokeland. No. Demers right there. Good defense. Look at Demers trying to play a little point guard. And immediately dribbled into a trap, and she said, no, thank you. Hansen. Tough layup, wouldn't go. Moline trying to get something going. Miller, step back three. Got it.
That's a big shot. And, you know, Coach Stevens, that last shot, Grafton didn't take much time off the clock at all, went in for a quick shot. You know, she's got to be telling them, hey, let's use a shot clock here. We're up, 14 points with 5 minutes left. We don't need to do anything quick. And then Kenmare comes down and takes a quick shot.
Hansen will try her hand at a response. Couldn't get it to go. Strokeland comes away with the board.
A big possession here.
It's a 14-point game. Miller, the first Kenmare player into double figures, and she's going to the line for 2. After this break, 5:07 to go here in the 4th quarter. Grafton trying to get to a 3rd straight state semifinal. The Spoilers lead it by 14. The North Dakota State Class B Girls Basketball Tournament is brought to you by Farmers Union Insurance. Welcome back, everybody. It's our continuing coverage here inside the Betty on WDAY. Grafton leading by 14, but Kenmare's got a chance to cut it to 12. As Brenna Strokeland going to the line for a pair of free throws here. Makes a first. And she does cut it down. .12-point game. Kenmare trying any way it can to keep this one close. Nearly a turnover. Cole comes away with it. Jump ball, and it's gone back the way of Kenmare.
Here we go. This is exactly what Coach Zimmer hoped for, is that they get some turnovers. They got to make their shots, obviously, but they've been hitting the last couple and cut it down to 10, possibly a 9-point game.
Waiting in the wings to Moha, Lansford, Sherwood as the mid-range jumper wouldn't go. And Langdon area, Edmore, Munich, and Erickson couldn't catch up to that pass, and they turn it back over. Lori Steven, you can see a little frustration here.
Yeah, they had the game kind of well in hand, and to let them back in and give them any kind of hope is not what she wanted.
Down low, tipped out by Demers. 25 seconds on the shot clock. 4.5 to go in this final quarter of play in our first quarterfinal game. Again, Mohall, Lansford, Sherwood, and Langdon area, Edmore, and Munich will take us after this one. 4th straight state tournament appearance for the Cardinals. Won it in 2020. MLS, first time back since 2005. And an interesting note on that one, they lost a state championship game to Langdon that year in 2005. So maybe a little vengeance here. 17 years in the making.
Yeah, and towns don't often forget that, you know.
No.
Class B, you've lost to someone, your enemies forever in that state tournament.
Foul's going up against Brooklyn Roding. That's her 3rd, and she's done a really good job of not picking up that 3rd foul until late. She got both of those first 2 fouls in the first quarter. If you're Grafton here, what are you trying to do offensively? Are you wanting to take more time off the clock, or are you trying to find the best shot here no matter how much time wasted?
Well, you want to have the best shot, especially out of bounds. You want to get a good, quick shot. That's what the out-of-bounds plays are designed for. But if you don't have that shot, then you pull it out and use 20 seconds of the shot clock before you start getting into your offense. You don't want to get yourself out of a rhythm necessarily, but with only 4 minutes left and a 12-point advantage, there's just only so many opportunities if you are using that clock.
Michelle Miller joins Brenna Strokeland in the club they neither wanted to be in. That's a 4-foul club. Hansen alone, 3. No. Rebound going towards Grafton's bench, and it's Cole coming up with it. Out top, Erickson got it.
She's, it doesn't maybe get as much recognition as some of the others, but she's been a consistent player here today, bringing the ball up the court, shooting 3-pointers. Again, she's 6'2", but really kind of that spark plug from that first half, and just playing very consistently.
She's up into double figures now with 10 points. Cassie Erickson's been terrific, trying to make it 12. Kenmare just threw it right back into Cole. Jaden Moe. Erickson at the free throw line. What a nice move inside. Couldn't get it to go. Cole, the second chance. And the chance at a 3-point play. She only has 4 points today, but her impact on this game, Kira Cole, cannot be understated.
Yeah, and just the offensive boards that the Spoilers have gotten. They're out rebounding them 30-14, and of those 13 are offensive rebounds, and you just can't win too many games when you get out rebounded like that.
Another chance.
Nice pass.
Cole again.
What a nice pass by Erickson. Just a fun young lady to watch, and I'm enjoying her, and we'll probably get a chance to see her tomorrow night as well.
It was a 12-point game here. All of a sudden, Grafton goes on a 7-0 run and make it a 19-point game with under 3 minutes to go. The Spoilers have a semifinal appearance in its sights. Three minutes to play here in our first quarterfinal game from the Betty 51-32. Grafton has ballooned the lead up to 19 points after Kenmare had chucked it down to 12. Alongside Lynette Johnson, I'm Zach Staten, and a double dribble immediately for Kenmare. Brooklyn Roding commits it.
And that's just kind of how the last 2.5 quarters have gone. Kenmare played a perfect game until about, 3.5 minutes left when Strokeland got that 3rd foul, and things just the wheels kind of fell off. But a great game plan. Unfortunately, sometimes you can't control everything, and can control those fouls there, and Grafton really took advantage of it.
Erickson looking down low for Demers, trying to make it a 20-point game. Makes it a 20-point game.
And a fantastic high-low, little bounce pass down from Erickson to Demers. You can tell these girls have played a lot of basketball together. 3 goes in for Kenmare. Michelle Miller comes in again, and boy, she has been so impressive today. Yeah, offensively, she and Malene have been the ones that have kind of kept them in this game a little bit and really pick up the slack for Strokeland. Erickson again. She's been just so impressive today. We got a violation on the other end. Stepped over the line as they were passing it in, and Grafton right now can feel it. They called that a long two, by the way, for Miller, so she's up to 12 points. The only Kenmare player, along with Brenna Strokeland, to get up to 10 points. But outside of that, it's been tough sledding on the offensive side. Hansen underneath.
No. Nice Euro step there for Strokeland, trying to find something. Swatted! Demers! A Demers denial turns it right back to the Spoilers. Erickson, Hansen, Demers, 22 points.
Yeah, she owns the lane right now. The only thing I think you can do differently is put someone in front and behind her and try to double team her down low. That leaves someone else open. But if other teams are watching, they're probably trying to figure out how they're going to stop that young lady.
Well, you're not trying to take into account the fact she can bring the ball up the floor. And she can make it a 24-point night. And Lori Sieben will start to empty the bench. Take a timeout here with 64 seconds left to go. And what a recovery here for Walker Demers. Up to 24 points after what was a really difficult start to this basketball game.
Yeah, it really was. And, you credit the defense of Kenmare for that. But just really has taken over the game.
59-34 with 64 seconds left to go in the game. Grafton on its way to another state semifinal appearance. It's third in a row. Remember, the Spoilers have been in the last 2 state title games. The team they lost to in 2020 plays next in Langdon area, Edmore, Munich. The Cardinals that year were unbeaten. Last year, Grafton got back to the state championship game, won it over Central Cass. And on a 10-year anniversary of Lori Sieben's first state championship with Grafton, it looks like the Spoilers are on its way to another semifinal appearance. What can you say about the fight, though, from Kenmare for the first 16 minutes of this basketball game?
They really did. They executed everything exactly how they wanted. If Strokeland doesn't get in the foul trouble, I think we have a much different outcome here.
Yeah, you heard Mike Zimmer say that at the half. He thought that if Strokeland was in, he thought they'd be winning at the break.
Yeah, and, it was just a 2-point game, but just too much to overcome with her not being in there, and just the size advantage and the experience of the Grafton Spoilers team.
Grafton had 22 points in the first half. They have ballooned this lead up to 59-34 and just an efficient second half. They only made 8 shots in the first half. They're up to 25 now for the game. You do the math. That's 17 made shots here in the second 16 minutes.
And I thought, at the beginning of the game, we talked if they could have held them to, under 50, try to get them under 50, they'd have a chance. But Grafton just too much firepower and could possibly end with over 60 here.
Grafton steals it away. One-time three for Bjornaby wouldn't go. Hansen trying for the miss. Strokeland will get it. And that will put the finishing touches on a masterclass second half from Lori Sieben's group. The final score, 59-34, and Grafton is going back to Final Four Friday for the 3rd straight season.
Yeah, just they're back in form. It's been a year since they've been back at the state championship, but that second half was basically complete domination by the Spoilers and shows why they're one of the top teams in the state.
Walker Demers had 8 points at the break. She finishes with 24 points. That's a 16-point second half. She's our Touchstone Energy Cooperatives of North Dakota player of the game. She was terrific. 24 points and 10 boards tonight.
Yeah, and really just said, hey, put the team on my shoulders. We're going to go. I don't know what, maybe she had a Powerade at halftime or something, but she really came out second half and missed some of those bunnies of the first half, but she was not missing anything the second half, getting some nice offensive rebounds and putbacks and just really unstoppable. 3
players in double figures for Grafton. Cassie Erickson provided a heck of a lot of spark for him too. That fourth maybe score for him turned into a really good option for him today as they are off to a semifinal appearance. Walker Demers standing by on the sideline. Walker, it was a really tough start to the game. What changed for you towards the end of that second quarter and into the second half?
Well, my teammates were really there, especially at halftime, to keep me going. I was a little bit frustrated in the first half. My shots weren't falling, but my teammates really pumped me up in halftime, so that's what really changed.
How did you make sure you guys didn't panic when Kenmare got out to that 5-point lead and they looked like they were making every three they put up?
Yeah, so again, in halftime, we really had a pep talk before Coach came in. We talked about what we needed to do and what we weren't doing, and we went out third quarter and doing the stuff that we were talking about, so it worked out.
You're on your third straight state semifinal appearance. What can you say about the run this program has been on in your time here with the Spoilers?
It's really awesome. I honestly wouldn't play for a better team than this one before me or the ones I've had before.
Hope you get a chance to play with the state championship dog today. You deserve it. 24 points, 10 rebounds. Congratulations, Walker.
Thank you.
That's Walker Demers, again, our Touchstone Energy Cooperatives of North Dakota player of the game. A double-double here for the junior on her way to South Dakota. And a terrific performance from the Spoilers in the second half. 59-34 the final. And now we take the floor with Langdon area Edmore Munich and Mohall Lansford Sherwood in our second quarterfinal matchup. The winner of this one will play the Spoilers tomorrow. Lori Sieben is standing down on the sidelines now. Coach, we talked about it at the break. You felt like your team got a really good finish to the second quarter. What did you like in the second half?
Well, I liked how the girls responded. I could tell they're a little bit uncomfortable, especially after that first quarter. Like I said, we were getting some good looks, but got to credit Kenmare. They defend well. They're aggressive. They're everything that we expected to see on film, and we knew a little bit about them because we did some different things over the summer with them. Just have a lot of respect for Mike, but the girls just responded so well at halftime, and not only am I proud of them to finish that second half, but I think we took another leap of growth.
Walker Demers had a really tough start to this game. She finishes with 24 points and 10 rebounds. What can you say about the response that you got from your junior?
Yeah, just perseverance. That's what we expect from Walker. That's how she's been huge in her role just as a leader. And our girls, they stay connected with that perseverance, and that's huge because Walker attaches a lot. She brings a lot of attention to the floor, and she's got to play through a lot of aggressiveness, and just a lot of credit to Walker on that. And I thought we did a better job the second half of really still pushing pace, but making some space and giving Walker some room and letting our girls get set up a little bit to receive the basketball. So just really excited about our team's effort and the response in the second half.
How does a third straight state semifinal appearance sound to you?
That's where we want to be, Zach. That is where this group wants to be, and we're super excited for the opportunity.
Coach, congrats on a great win. We'll see you tomorrow on Friday night.
All right, thanks, Zach.
That's Lori Sieben, head coach of the Grafton Spoilers. 59-34 behind Walker Demers double-double, 24 points and 10 rebounds. It's the Spoilers back on Final Four Friday. We come back, get you updated on the news, and then come back and get you set for Langdon area Edmore Munich and Mohall Lansford Sherwood. The Spoilers are going back to the semis.